Hello, hello, hello. Aloha, hey. BigSquareRoadRunner.com. How are you guys doing? Um, got off the phone a little bit ago with Dick Allgaier. I have posted that video at roadrunner.com. We talk about all the things that we agree on and don't agree on. Um, so please go check that out. It's an interesting conversation. Talk a little bit about the DTCC and a little bit about freedom and you name it. I'm trying a new arrangement here where I got this screen down here so I can look at the live chat and answer questions. Can everybody hear me? Greetings from Malibu. Oh, lucky. Although it's probably really hot down there. It's boiling up here in Northern California. Um, I don't know what's going on. I do. It's September. You get those, what we call them, Indian summers up here. I don't know why they're Indian. I don't know if it's American Indian or a dot or a feather. I don't know. No, don't report me to the Berkeley police on that one. But I do want to talk about there is some developments in silver. Silver, the long abused, literally abused silver market. Two more arrests. Two traders from the same firm, JP Morgan, have been relieved of their duty and are on at least temporary, probably permanent leave from JP Morgan. One is a senior trader in gold and silver, and the other is works in the department. Now, these are not. I don't think this is related to the old charges from 2008 to 2015. I think these are new. New. They're not arrests. They just told them you got to leave. Forced leaving. Not fired, but on temporary leave is what they call it. What has happened lately in the silver market that might ruffle some feathers? The huge silver, 100 million ounces of silver deposited into the ETFs came from a sneaky move in buying silver on the COMEX, and because they knew the price was being shorted, they got cheap silver, 100 million ounces. And to put this into perspective, and this was April, May, June of this year, to put this into perspective, the Hunt brothers got busted for cornering the silver market in the late 70s up to 1980. And they, on the physical side, they had about 100 million ounces. And on the COMEX contracts, they had about 110, as I recall. And they were busted by, I don't know if it was the CFTC at the time, but some regular. And basically, they froze all their contracts, and they said on the COMEX, only selling, no buying. So when price of silver went from $50 down to $15, I think it was, or at least 20 in a matter of like a month. And that was insane. Many people lost life savings on that one because they thought silver was going to run, because all the metrics you measure a commodity for, printing of money, supply and demand, all that stuff was in favor of silver. It should have run up to $500 back then. It was not allowed to. It was rigged lower with the help of the COMEX. Nothing new, right? But that was only 100 million ounces. Warren Buffett was busted buying silver at the end of the 90s, I think, to take down the bad guys. And his 130 million ounces, which they ended up stealing from him and blackmailing him in a agreement, a plea bargain, to give up the silver to let him off of criminal charges in the general reinsurance scandal. And that's why Buffett, he didn't sell his silver. He was very careful how he said he got rid of his silver. He didn't sell his silver. He was very careful to tell his shareholders, well, we got rid of our silver. He said, I bought in too soon and I sold too soon, I think is how he put it. Or bought in too late and sold too soon. One of those. Silver's the big game. That's the big game. And now we have someone who did something very similar, 100 million ounces in a matter of months, and they moved it into the SLVs. I believe it was obviously JP Morgan. And I heard one of the ETFs it was moved into was Deutsche Bank's. Deutsche Bank is a custodian on an ETF. Are you kidding me? Yes, it's true. Just like JP Morgan is a custodian. So this is 4 employees of JP Morgan who are now either under investigation or have been suspended or asked to leave. Got silver? I hope all you crypto guys have some physical silver in your own possession. You're gonna look at silver and say, "Oh my God, I wish I had some of that instead of all this extra crypto that I got." Is there such thing as extra crypto? So yeah, keep an eye on silver. Cryptos any day. What do you think? Any day. There's so much FUD out there around Bitcoin. I did my early morning thing this morning. I talked about the Sarah Westall interview with Kent Lewis, and yeah, he was right. But that's old news. If you've been in cryptos long enough, you already knew that the core developers were taken over by the bankster side and all this. That's old news, but it doesn't matter. Remember, Bitcoin and the Bitcoin protocol and blockchain, it's decentralized. Not even Satoshi Nakamoto can change that. The Fed can't change that. No, they can't. The core developers can't change that. Nobody can change that. They're doing everything they can around the perimeters of Bitcoin and Litecoin and all the coins to gain as much control back as they possibly can. But they cannot control Bitcoin. It is already out there, open source software. If the core developers make some kind of change, it is probably the most viewed computer code in the world, the Bitcoin blockchain. When they make changes, it has to go through massive amount of scrutiny before anything is ever adopted. So it's not going to matter. On the exchanges, yeah, that stuff does matter. They're getting their hands in there. They're buying up crypto companies. They're shorting. They're on manipulating markets. Absolutely. And they will be there. And like I've said all along, I'm fighting for freedom, but freedom will never come. Total freedom will never come. Just like total control of our lives will never come either. Dick Allgaier and I talked about that today, and do check that out. We have a good conversation. Also about the Litecoin Summit and the music we're gonna play. He's really excited. So am I about that event. All right, I am going to start reading some comments here because I got a full list. Instead of looking at the tiny list and poking at you guys, I'm gonna look at this list here and see what we got going on. Get my specs on. All right, Silver Stacker's in here. Good job. Oh, Vince Grant, thank you for the super chat. When is silver going to make a move? That's easy. 1979. That's when it should have made the final move of the silver blowout top. Silver's been rigged for 150 years. So when is silver going to make a big move? Depends what you call a big move. The controlled move in 2011 from $20 to $50 was a pretty big move. It was a matter of months, but that was controlled and rigged. And they got the weak hands in, they slammed it, and that started the artificial bear market. You got to remember, silver is not freely traded, nor is anything these days, but silver especially. 100% under control. Nothing is freely traded anymore, thanks to things like the DTCC, which I talked to Dick about. Yeah, they can naked short all they want in silver, gold, cryptos. How do you naked short in cryptos? You just sell it on those criminal exchanges. They don't have the coins. Go listen to the Trace Mayer interview with me and Bitcoin Ben and a couple other people about proof of keys. We're doing it again in January. Get your keys in your own possession. If you don't own them, you don't. If you don't have them in your hand, you don't own them. That is 100% true. Rainy Steps, thank you for the super chat. That was very nice. Hello to you too. This is in lieu of our Friday no happy hour today. I actually get to play golf today. I like golfing, so I'm gonna play golf with a buddy of mine in the heat later this afternoon and take the rest of the day off because it's been a long work week. Could Bitcoin ever be freely traded? Absolutely. And the beauty about cryptocurrencies and the crypto community is that we invent ways around the criminal bankster problems. Bitcoin was an invention to get around the problem of criminal fiat money and criminal manipulation of the markets and control over our lives. Now the problem is, hey, it's not freely traded because these banksters and criminal riggers are in the markets. So we're going to invent decentralized markets. These crypto people are brilliant. We don't want the old system, so we're going to make our own solutions. They can do whatever they want over there with the DTCC and the people that Dick Hallgeier talks about. They can continue their system. Congratulations, go for it. By the way, the crypto people are going to have workarounds around the problems that you guys have over there, and we'll move forward. So yes, I do think we will have exchanges that are decentralized, and then everything's going to go away from these criminal centralized stuff, and Bakkt will implode, and the COMEX will implode, and the Dow Jones will implode, and it'll be a great moment. When is it going to happen? Could happen any moment. 1% chance today, 2% chance yesterday, or day before yesterday, 1% chance tomorrow, but it can happen at any moment. Silver slammed down by the banks. Silver is under control and manipulation. They can click a mouse and put it to zero, click a mouse, put it to $1 million an ounce. I don't know which one they're going to do. They usually don't know either. Whatever suits their fancy. Remember, Steve Mnuchin was the head of IT for Goldman Sachs. That tells you how much computer power they have. Oh, my wife is on the chat. Is the Loaf wallet cool? Absolutely. That's my favorite wallet for Litecoin. Yeah. It's cool. Litecoin is the right coin as a means of exchange. Let's see. What else we got? Garda wallet. I have that one for a different type of crypto that I wanted to put on it. I heard it's okay. I don't like to leave anything in wallets that are not in my possession. Paper wallets, Trezor. Bobby Lee has a new wallet out. I think it's more like a mobile wallet. Really cool thing. I haven't fully dug into it, but check that out because it's all about adoption. And Bobby is Charlie's brother, and he was working on something. And it looks like a credit card. It looks really cool. It can make its own addresses. Check that one out. Who we got in the house? Amina's in the house. What up? Chris Card, buddy. It could be a girl, huh? Chris Card. Who else we got? When's Silver gonna make Vince? When's Silver gonna make the big move? Vince, when's Silver gonna make the big move? Silver was beaten down, dragged out to the wood chipper this week. Oh, come on. Really? Try being in silver for, some of the silver bugs have been in since the 70s. You want to know beaten down and dragged out? It's not going down 5 or 10%. Try I lived through the 2011 crash and $50 in a day. It went down to 10, which is a 20% move. And then the next day it went down another 10%. And then the next day it went down another 10%. Those are the good moves. So no, these are ridiculous moves. They can slam again. They can click it and put it to zero if they wanted. But do they want to? That is the question. RF3, global economic slavery. But now, with our excellent president in control, just stand back and watch the feathers fly. Trump's working for the good guys, I think. I think they put him here in that position as a bull in a china shop to do exactly what he's doing, ram things with his head. In the meantime, they're getting a lot done, taking out the deep state, taking out the pedophiles, trying to get the crypto thing in shape and ready to go, and a lot going on. But Trump is a hero in my book just for being there and being the Trump asshole that he is. He can be the sweetest guy and the biggest asshole. If you've listened to me long enough, my company owned the Trump helicopter, the one that says Trump on the side, and we were leasing it to Trump. And I was in charge of lease stuff with a buddy of mine. He did the helicopters, unfortunately, so he got to deal directly with Trump. And his first meeting, Trump brought him up to Trump Tower in his office. He's like, "Oh, dude, you're the greatest guy. Come on in here. Don't you love this view here? Would you like something to drink? Here's some food, blah, blah. Yeah, let's talk business later." So the first meeting went great and everything went great. Second meeting, great, everything went great. Third meeting is when he came in with a number and said, "Okay, it's end of lease. Here's the fair market value of your helicopter." Whoa. Trump absolutely explodes at him and he goes, I walked out of there feeling like about 2 inches tall, but I stood my ground. He, in negotiation, it's easy. Trump's an asshole. He can be an asshole or the nicest guy in the world. You do want him negotiating for you, so you want him negotiating for your country. But yeah, that's what he is. And many people have seen that. I love it when congressmen come out of their meetings with Trump and say, oh, he's so unstable. We need a psychological evaluation. He does it on purpose. Absolutely, to get what he wants. Of course, my buddy was like, that's it. I'm not even going to sell it to him at the price I offered it. And it ended up in litigation, of course, like everything does with Trump if he doesn't get his way. So, but it was a pain in the ass. He should have just taken the first deal. All right. Yeah, smash the like button, please, and subscribe. Let's see what else. Anybody got any questions out there? Can you explain how this crypto manipulation ends when they can control $8 trillion gold market? Oh, that's a great question. And it ends with the markets imploding that are bigger than the $8 trillion gold market. I think gold market's much bigger than $8 trillion if you include all the electronic derivative trades that go on every year. Because I know that the silver market is 5 trillion, or was 5 trillion a couple years ago with the amount of electronic trades that go on. So that's the question. No, if they want to continue to control the system, they can, including the cryptos. But that's the question. And the issue is, do they want to continue to control it, or do they want to end the old system and start something new? I believe they want to end the old system. Keep an eye on the bonds, keep an eye on the derivatives. It's all about derivatives. 8 trillion is nothing in the derivative world. We're talking many quadrillions in the derivative world. And that's what destroys the people that Dick Allgaier say will never be destroyed. That was done on purpose in the late 1990s when Alan Greenspan deregulated all the derivatives. That's the whole idea. Give the bankers enough rope to hang themselves, and they are hung. Not like donkeys, but like dead people with their derivative book that they cannot get rid of. A lot of stuff going on behind the scenes as we speak, especially JP Morgan's derivative book that the first quarter it went up $11 trillion from $48 trillion to $59 trillion to overtake Deutsche Bank as the largest bank derivative holder. That's not normal, my friends. And this is a systemic bank that we bailed out in 2008. Why are they even allowed to play in the derivative market, much less in a matter of 3 months increase their derivative position by $11 trillion? Why is that allowed? Who's their regulator? Federal Reserve System. Is the Federal Reserve going to pull the plug on the whole thing? At some point, I think they will fall on the sword, and then they'll get absorbed into Treasury. Will Trump tell us everything about 9/11? I think everything gets exposed once the banking cabal loses power, and the people behind them, the Rothschilds, the Rockefellers, the City of London, the Queen of England, the Vatican, the Anunnaki, and the Nephilim. You could keep going back, and then at the end of the day, who's really in charge is God. Ultimately, behind everybody else is God. So you can't get mad at God. He's probably throwing these challenges out here so that we can realize this experience of traveling through this time when we can actually attack those who have controlled us for so long, actually beat them because the derivative thing, they got themselves into a mess. All we have to do is say no when they come in for a bailout. That's all we have to do. It's so easy on our part and yet so hard. So we'll see what happens. All right. Let's see. LTC starts its march to 4-1 today. Nice. I haven't looked at the cryptos today. Is LTC moving? Again, it's rigged. Look at the volumes of Litecoin right now. Go on to CoinMarketCap. Look at the volumes. I haven't looked, but I can tell you it's between 50% of all coins traded to 75% of all coins traded has traded in the last 24 hours. All coins created. That's how much fraud is going on in the Litecoin. And compare that to other coins. Now you got your Tether, which is completely ridiculous. But that's a deep state coin. You got to stay away from that as far as you can toss it. They use that. It's scary. Bex, do you see any more fallout with the Epstein case? Will any more pedos see justice or will it fade away? Yes, I do believe a lot. See, all this stuff is contingent upon the electronic monetary system crashing, because all this stuff could set off the crash. They want the crash. Both sides want the crash. The good guys and the bad guys. The bad guys to get away with their crimes. The good guys to move forward and to bust the bad guys. Seeing that more JP Morgan metal traders are being laid off or are being put on sabbatical or whatever that happened to them is a great sign, because those are new employees. Those are recents. We'll see what happens. Veritasium roller coaster. Yeah, I mean, who knows? The price of Veri. That won't be settled for a long time. If Veri wins and is adopted as a necessary part of our capital markets, our peer-to-peer exchanges such as the COMEX, the LBMA, the Dow, Jamaican Stock Exchange, it will live up to Cliff High's data that said it'll go 1-to-1 with Bitcoin. If it doesn't, it'll go to 0. If they shut it down, and if the SEC says no, we're shutting this down. I don't think they are, though. So yeah, you should have some Veri in your portfolio. Lots of Veri. You don't need lots. It's hard to buy. You go in there and buy $10,000 worth of Veri, and you're gonna make the price go up 20% with your buy. So just be careful when you're out there buying Veri, and you're betting on how this lawsuit SEC issue turns out. If it turns out good, you get the biggest home run in cryptocurrencies probably. If it turns out bad, you're gonna lose it all. So just keep that in mind. Will the Fed go negative interest rates and win? I don't think so. I think the system will fall apart before they get there. 2008 was a test, yes, for 2007 into 2008. Don't forget, 2008 we saw the cryptos crash, but they never should have gone that high. That big move from like 1,000 or 2,000 to 20,000, the big move happened at the end of 2007, the last couple months. So, I know a lot of people got in December of 2007 and January, and if we all knew it was artificial, we would have done something else. But it was a test. They were saying how fast people would get in, and people got in fast, really fast. So hang on tight for the next move up. All right, gold will bring the Fed down. According to Q, yeah, that's what Q said. Gold will bring the Fed down. Anything can bring the Fed down. Do not forget, Congress has the power to end the Fed with a stroke of a pen. It is up to Congress, too, to take that power away and bring it back to where it rightfully belongs with the people, the power over money. And that goes with the DTCC, too. With Dick Allgire's discussion, yeah, Congress can take out and take down the DTCC and make them give those certificates held in seed and company back to the original owners. Congress has the power to do that. Will they exercise it? I don't think they'll need to. I think that whole derivative bomb's going to go soon. We'll find out. What is Veri and how do I get some? Go back to like my last 10 videos. You'll figure that one out. Have I ever done a video on how to buy crypto? Yeah, back when it wasn't easy. Back when it was really hard. Now just go to Coinbase and buy your crypto and get it off the exchange. But 5 years ago, it was hard. 7 years ago, it was hard to buy cryptos. It's a walk in the park now. There's no need for videos on how to buy. How can I buy cryptos? It's easy. Go to Coinbase, set up an account. It'll walk you through how to do it. Or Gemini is another good one. Kraken's a good one. But you got to get them off the exchange. As soon as you get them, take them off the exchange, because those exchanges are criminal. Or you can find a friend who has crypto and say, hey, I'll pay you an extra $10 per Litecoin for your Litecoin, and pull it from their cold, dead hands. There'll be a lot when the exchange is shut down. There'll be a lot of people bartering cryptos with people they know who don't have any, and they'll say, "Oh my God, system fell apart. I need cryptos. How do I get them?" I'll sell you some Litecoin for. I'll give you a bargain, 5,000 per Litecoin today. I thought you said you couldn't trust Coinbase before. Yeah, you can't trust any of the exchanges if you don't hold them. But there's only certain ways you can get them. So you got to go into the exchange and get them. Most people have to, or you go to local Bitcoin, I think it's called, and find someone local. But you're gonna have to walk around with cash. It's a little harder. So yeah, no, I don't trust Coinbase. I think they'll go down with the ship, with the banking ship, not the crypto ship, the banking ship, because they don't have the coins that their customers hold in their wallets. But there's no other place to get it. Now there are other places, but none of them are trustworthy. Nobody but yourself is trustworthy these days. The BISQ decentralized exchange is working. Decentralized exchanges are harder to deal with, but yeah, if it's working, great. I don't know what kind of volume they do or what the pricing is, so check on that. If it's all rigged, how can it fail? Just keep clicking the button. Yeah, that's what they've done for over 100 years until they don't want to do it anymore. And that's what the Road to Ruta comics are all about. When Ruta is talking to her grandmother, Alan Greenspan talking to Arthur Burns about taking down the system, taking out the bad guys. And that's the plan at some point, is to take out the bad guys. What are my thoughts about Robinhood? I think it's a criminal exchange. They do all kinds of stuff, but they're doing cryptos now. They don't have them. No way. Not a chance. They were doing free trading. Oh, yeah, free trading, trying to get everybody over there. Again, third-party exchanges, that's my thought. It's a third-party exchange. Any third party between you and your asset these days is trouble. Thoughts on McAfee ButtFi wallet? I don't know that wallet very well. I haven't done any research, so I'm not the guy to ask, unfortunately. Why did they stop the crash that they started in 2008? They didn't. They didn't stop that crash. That was a planned takedown of the system. Who stopped it? You did. Your neighbor did. We the people did. If you recall, it went to Congress. Hank Paulson went to Congress. We need $700 billion and we need it now or the whole system will collapse. The first go round, Congress said no. The stock market drops 50%. Second go round, they said yes. And they bailed out the banksters. Now, mind you, in 2008, the people weren't very savvy on what was going on with the banksters. Now we all know. I mean, there's been best-selling movies, The Big Short and all that. We all know there's criminality in our banking system. We don't do anything about it. But the next time they come to Congress, do you really think there's going to be a bailout? And they're going to ask for $20 trillion. That's my number, $20 trillion. That's why I think the minimum number they're going to come to Congress for. Good luck getting that passed. And then we move forward however which way we can. Any which way you can. But remember the big problem. Everybody thinks, oh my God, if the financial system collapses, it's the end of the world. No, it's the end of the world if it keeps going. This is the largest debt bubble in the history of any humanity, any time during humanity. This is the largest ever, and it's global. And I can give you 1,000 reasons why we need to get rid of this system, and there's only one way to get rid of it. The only question left is, do we do it now or very soon, or do we give it to our grandkids and hope that they do it like our grandparents gave to us? I vote on doing it. I vote on getting it over with. It's going to happen. We need to do it as soon as possible while we can still survive it. Because let's just say this debt bubble and this corrupt system gets 100 times more corrupt, and our grandkids are saying, what the hell did our grandparents leave us with? That's what I don't want to happen. All right. But it's not my decision. It's only my decision to put my hand up and vote no on the bailout. If we get no on the bailout, and with a divided Congress like we have, we're going to get no on the bailout. Probably 100% of Congress will say no. But then what? And there are plans, but I don't know which plan they're going to use. Truthfully, I'm hoping it's a combination of a revamped U.S. dollar, an intro of cryptocurrencies into the system, an intro of gold and silver into the system, if possible, if necessary. Probably not silver. There's not enough of it. Do we need the gold in the Grand Canyon, the millions of tons in the Grand Canyon? Probably not, because we have cryptos. So I think it's kind of leaning on the cryptos. and the U.S. government, printing more money and creating a new Federal Reserve dollar. We'll see what happens. No more kicking the can, Doug. You're correct. No more kicking the can. I agree. Tricks Treats. Same shirt with Dick. Good luck, sir. Dick Allgaier is awesome. We had a great conversation. Yes, I got this shirt in the 70s in Hawaii at a luau. Luau. Yeah, it's time to upgrade. If I'm going to hang out with Dick Allgaier more often, I need a good Hawaiian shirt. Maybe I'll get one that says "Born to Be," like the little, see the little motorcycle back here. It's got the little Litecoin on the back. It says, if you can't read it, it says "HODL," and below it is "Road to Ruta." Maybe I should get a motorcycle jacket or a Hawaiian shirt with that on the back. I don't know. We'll see. Amy, did you hear that for my Christmas present? Did you hear that? She always says I'm hard to shop for. Buy me Litecoin. I'm happy. How hard is that? Coinbase gave me shit when I questioned their policy. Absolutely. They for a while they had pretty much of a monopoly. Now there's other companies, but yeah, what can you say? They don't have to deal with you. They make plenty of money. Their customer service has improved, believe it or not. They used to have the worst customer service ever. And now it has improved a lot. And it's easier to deal with. Cryptos are so much easier than they were. So imagine being a customer service guy at Coinbase during one of the booms, like 2013 or 14, or I don't know when Coinbase started up, 15. Definitely during the 2017 boom, customer service. How do I deal with what's a crypto? Where's my wallet? I gave you $1,000. Where's my coin? How come it says down for maintenance? Oh my God, what a nightmare. It's gotten a lot better, and the whole infrastructure of cryptos is night and day compared to what it was a couple years ago. Pix, have you seen an article saying Litecoin miners are abandoning ship? Is this just more FUD? Yes, it's more FUD, more FUD, more FUD, more FUD, more FUD. There'll be more FUD as we go along. There's a difficulty adjustment if it gets too low. There's all kinds of things that right now, yeah, the halving is over. All the excitement when it went to $140 and then back down to $60. And now we have the Bitcoin. Bitcoin will probably go up before it's halving. And Litecoin, if we do have an economic hiccup, yeah, you want to see miners in Litecoin? Holy crap. Because Litecoin will be the number one means of exchange. Why? Because the Litecoin community has been saying that all along, and that's how it was built by Charlie Lee. He's doing everything he can to spread adoption. His brother is spreading adoption now with his new crypto wallet. It's all about the end of the old system and a new system. That's what you do. All right. You guys, what are you talking about out there? Is Max Kaiser Satoshi? No, Max Kaiser isn't Satoshi. We did an RV, a remote viewing on who Satoshi is. Whether or not you believe the remote viewing guys, Dick Allgaier, he came up with a group of people all associated with computers and the Fed. The group, go to roadtoruta.com. I think I still have it up on I think it's on the public side, but it is started with John Kimeny in the early 1960s. He was the inventor of BASIC, the computer programming language. It was the first shareable computer programming language. The second guy was Alan Greenspan, as I've said all along, Ruta himself, who invented the first financial computing programs. He blames himself for Y2K. Nobody knew Alan Greenspan was a computer programmer until I was jumping up and down screaming it. Now everybody's like, oh, maybe he was. Maybe he was a computer programmer. Maybe that's why they put him as head of the Federal Reserve in 1987, being that he was the biggest gold bug in the world. And then it goes on to Steve Jobs, the guy who put Bitcoin in your hand. The guy who put a computer in your hand made it possible for Bitcoin to be used as a cryptocurrency. Now, all along, the NSA and the Federal Reserve and the Treasury were in on building a cryptocurrency. Satoshi, the guy who didn't invent cryptocurrency, he fixed the double spend problem and then coined the name Bitcoin is what happened and began mined the Bitcoin first block. And then there was another guy that Dick had. He was more of a younger guy, a computer guy. It could have been one of those Nick Szabo or Andreessen. It could have been any of those guys. the fourth guy, and then you've got the NSA and the Fed has been in it for decades. So that's my take. So no, is it Max Kaiser? No, I don't think so. All right, Bix, can you address why you think XRP has a larger market cap than LTC and is arguably inferior? XRP had buy-in from all the banks in the beginning. XRP was Ripple was designed to help the banks in the transition to the cryptographic digitally settled transactions. XRP's dealing or was dealing with gigantic money, and that was their plan. And it would have worked if a couple things if it happened. One, if the banking system stayed in place, it would have worked pretty well. I don't think it's going to stay in place, but also they have a little problem with one of the founders has all this millions and millions of Bitcoin or of XRP that he's selling off as he gets it. He's going to be getting it for a while, and he wants out. So that's not good for the XRP price. And I'm not an XRP fan because I don't want the banks to fix their problems. The coin might go crazy, but I don't want to support the banks fixing their problems and moving into the crypto world. All right. Okay. Mike, just bought a gold BTC card from Bobby Lee's new company, Ballet. Get one on Kickstarter. Only 500 ever going to be produced. There you go. Chase after it. Don't forget, there is centralization on anything like that. There will be most likely. I haven't seen how Bobby's his wallet is structured or anything, but I heard there's got to be a little centralization in there. So just keep that in mind as you support these projects. There's going to be centralization when it comes to spending your cryptos. Anyway, if you're walking around with it on your phone, you have it on a mobile wallet, it's going to be centralization. If you have a Charlie Lee Ballet card, it'll probably be centralization. Just keep that in mind. And where does Bobby Lee get his credibility? He's a smart guy, but his older brother wouldn't let him do anything shady. That's my take. Centralization equals socialism. Decentralization equals capitalism. Trick streets. Absolutely. Good way to put it. Although it gets a little more complicated than that, but that's pretty good. Thoughts on Ethereum? I'm a big fan of Ethereum. I think Vitalik's doing something behind the scenes with the current system that is on the way to freedom. And I'm not too happy about the proof of stake sharding and all that. That kind of puts a little more decentralization, but I get it. I mean, we need that kind of platform. Something like Bitcoin Cash isn't fast enough yet. I guess. I don't know. I like Ethereum because I grew up on Ethereum. It was one of my first choices. And I said, look at all these companies when Ethereum starts up that are going to be on the Ethereum blockchain. Unfortunately, there was too many. I was too right on that call. And it just got overcrowded. But I do think Vitalik is working with governments around the world to implement a version of Ethereum. I'm not a fan of EOS, in case you were wondering. I'm just saying, in case you're wondering. Ram Tumbler, my daughter is saying hello to Bix. Hello, daughter. Don't call me daughter. Isn't that a song? Edge Wallet decentralized and can log in with username and password. Okay. I don't know. I haven't researched that one. Bank deposit 5 days hold. Yeah, dealing with the crypto exchanges and like Coinbase and Gemini, there's always holds and delays and crazy stuff. But you got to do it. I mean, unless you run around and find people who have crypto who are willing to sell it to you for cash or barter it. Hey, here's my car. You want to trade it for a 10 Litecoin? That type of thing. You're going to have to get cryptos anywhere you can get them. Go to a decentralized exchange and see how that goes. Right now, the volumes are very low, and usually you pay a premium. You pay a big premium to go on the decentralized exchange. But hey, who knows? All right, let's see here. I am trying to look at two screens at one time. No delay on physical. There's no delay on physical gold and silver. There has been though. There has been absolutely. When silver was running up to $50, you couldn't get any physical silver. You're paying or running down. When it goes high, it it's gone, and when it goes low, it's really gone. And then you pay like a 20% premium just to get a silver coin. Insane. Yeah, Pearl Jam song. Is Pillar a bargain right now? Pillar, I don't know. Pillar's hard because it's I like the wallet. I use the wallet. The justification for a token is a little hard. Yeah, Telving had a delay one. Telving was I used them, a silver kind of wholesale distributor, and had good prices. Ended up like most silver companies that go belly up, owing a lot of people a lot of money and a lot of silver. You gotta know who you're dealing with in the silver world if you're buying silver. That's why I always recommend go local. Go local. Now, if you don't have a local coin shop, call my friend Will Lair at Perpetual Assets or call Miles Franklin. I trust those guys. I'm not saying others aren't trustworthy because they are, but those are the ones that I trust. I trust enough to recommend them to my Road to Ruta people. Let's see. How long have I been down this path? I finally read the comics. They don't like you much, do they? They love me. The Fed loves me. The Fed put me in a comic. They didn't make me look cool. They made me into a little green guy named Glix. But they made me a rock star that sings about the Fed. I thought that was kind of cool. But I've been doing this. I was fighting the gold and silver battles since the late 90s. And then I used to hate cryptos when they first came out. I'm like, what are you talking about? No, it's got to be metal. Intrinsic value, which I didn't even know what I was talking about. And it cost me. It cost me, I delayed probably 6 months to a year until Cliff High whacked me on the head and say, you got to think again, Dix. Think harder, take a deeper dive, which I did. And ultimately I got my head around it and then rode the ups and downs with all the FUD and all that. Yeah, it's been a long time down this road, but like anything, it is the journey that counts, not the destination. It is the journey, and it has been an amazing journey. And I do think we'll hit a destination of the banks, the bad people being taken out. We're seeing it. I mean, if I told you in 2001, 2002 that the riggers at JP Morgan, well, they weren't silver riggers, they were gold riggers back then. But in 2008, when they took over the Bear Stearns silver rigging position, if I told you that 4 JP Morgan silver traders will be called out, 2 of them will be arrested and plead guilty and say their bosses told them to do it, and then 2 are on permanent leave, you would have said I'm crazy. But why is it like that? Because we yelled and screamed and wrote letters and proved to the regulators, proved to the doubters that gold and silver were rigged. And it was the journey. That was the journey for 10 years straight. And now we're seeing the fruits of that. So you can beat City Hall. There is a reason we're doing this. We can beat the banksters. All we have to do is say no when they come for the next bailout. All right. Bix, you can't call them riggers on YouTube. That's true, huh? YouTube is ridiculous. Ridiculous. Bix, can you explain what happens to a bank loan if the banks go bankrupt? Your bank loan is gone. Well, if a specific loan goes bankrupt, no, another bank will take them over. They'll give all the depositors a haircut, or take all their money and then take the liabilities and sell them to another bank. And yeah, the small bank going bankrupt doesn't help us at all. The system going bankrupt and imploding because of the derivative mess, yes, then your debt is gone. But that's going to be the least of your worries in that scenario. And the debt has to go. All this debt piled up around the world's got to go. They did, by the way, they did. J.P. Morgan or Citibank, I think it was, did forgive all the credit card debt in Canada for a specific credit card, and the reason they said, oh, it was just too much of a hassle. It wasn't a lot of money, but it was in the millions. But the reason was of all the dirty deals they did, it was either that or face the regulatory agencies on breaking all the laws of issuing credit cards up there. So that's what I hear. Okay. Here's a good one from Boba Feta Cheese. Bix, how about having a pack of cards like they did for the Iraqi leadership, but for the top banksters instead? That would be cool. But you see, then it's a slippery slope because you're inciting violence. Yeah, but when the bankers steal all your money, you might want to incite violence. So I am not going to be touching that. But if you want to do it, I'll buy a deck. How's that? Should I borrow money from Deutsche Bank? Again, if it's a single bank that goes down, you're going to have to pay it back. If Deutsche Bank is the catalyst for all the banks going down, then yeah, borrow away. All right, I got a couple more. This room's really hot today. The market is still being levitated. Fascinating to watch it float. ATM. The market is controlled every day, and it has been every day since at least the 1960s. Every day, every trade. There's no such thing as a free market. Now, they don't have to do it every day. It's really, they go in when they need to get things under control. They have little programs that run. But if someone tries to pull a thing like the Hunt brothers or Buffett did with silver, then they go in and say, okay, we're not going to let you do this. Yeah, it's called the Plunge Protection Team. It's had many names, and the bankers are all in cahoots, not all, but the prime dealer bankers with the Fed New York. That's where all the rigging happens out of. Those are the guys who made the comic book with glitz in it. So you Fed guys, don't get mad at me. I know you watch my stuff. Don't get mad. You guys supported my rock star career in putting me in your comic book. I know they're not mad at me. Yeah, and if you guys, I actually reached out to the new guy at the Fed, New York. He's in charge of education, which is where the comic books are. I reached out to him. I said, congratulations on your new position. I would love to interview you for my YouTube channel about the comics. I have 60,000 subscribers, and I'm sure the world would like to hear the backstory of what these comics mean and why the Fed is redoing them now, and especially the one out of the Fed Boston. They'd probably, with Fed Boston, they'd say, oh, that's not us, that's Boston. But they do have the Glix comics. I want to talk to the person who created Glix because I want copyright. I want royalties, baby. I want royalties. No, I won't get royalties because I stole Ruda. I stole Ruda from the Fed, so yeah. All right, that's all I got for you guys today. Happy Friday to everybody. I want you guys to be safe out there and make it all good. Oh, somebody said they talked with Cliff. Bahui said, hi, Bix. I chatted with Cliff about Very, and he figures that Reggie pissed off the bankster with Reggie Veritizing gold and silver. That's why there's a lawsuit. Any thoughts on that? It would take more than that because Reggie wasn't... very small amount of gold and silver was veritized. But, yeah, it was another way around the banksters. And it was clear that the SEC was running interference on Veritasium for 2 years straight while they were working with Veritasium, which is mind-boggling. So I think it's going to turn out very positive for Veritasium. I don't know about if it'll turn out very positive for Reggie. But for Veritasium, I think there's enough people. Please sign the petition. It's attached to my video like 3 or 4 days ago. There's a petition against the SEC, and over 1,000 people have signed that petition. These are investors that the SEC is screwing, and they're supposed to be helping us. And it's a great petition letter. And if you're interested in Veritasium, read both the legal filings, the one that the SEC filed, and then the rebuttal that Veritasium filed is shocking what the SEC was doing behind the scenes. So, tricks, treats, $5. Thank you. Thank you very much. Look at it, $5. That's a Coors Light for me. Yay! And hi to all my crypto friends out there. I love my crypto family, and it really does feel like a family. The gold and silver guys were old stodgy guys that were fun to hang out with. I was a young kid. I'm the old man in this crypto family. I feel like the grandfather of crypto folk music. So yeah, we're getting older. Thank you guys. You guys take care. Have a good Friday and a good weekend. Talk to you later.